For bad behavior, as Boy Meets World alum Matthew Lawrence stated on a recent episode of his podcast that the two had creative differences in a film that they worked on together back in 1998 called Boltneck. News Nation senior story editor Paula Froelich is here with the scoop. Paula, it seems like Ryan can't really catch a break right now with bad press between his wife Blake Lively's movie drama, now this. What else did Matthew share on this podcast?
Matthew was pretty explicit. He said, back in the day, and he made sure to say that Ryan was very young and that he has matured since then, but that Ryan did not take criticism very well. And every time he did, he'd just get freaked out and storm off. And now you have to understand, the producers of this movie were Oscar-nominated producers, so they knew what they were doing. However, Ryan in his youth thought that he knew better and in a serious role tried to make it comedic. At one point, even tried to channel his inner Jim Carrey, at which point the producers were like, listen, this is not this. Please don't do Jim Carrey. Please do the role.
All right, so everything in the world is just ridiculous. It's pointedly ridiculous, I would say. I mean, I'm no longer believing the things I'm saying. I feel like I am now lying to the public when I cover these things because we're just reaching levels of absurdity that are offending my sensibilities, right? First and foremost, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have hired former CIA agents with a proven track record of lying to the public, gaslighting the public to help her with PR. Also, they moved to do this within the same 24 hours that I started randomly getting attacked for my coverage of Blake Lively. Remember yesterday we talked about The Cut. We're going to speak about that again because that journalist has got some deranged ideas of her own. And then I just found out more about this very interesting background of E.J. Dixon. Also, the judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request for 2.5 years worth of every message that Justin Baldoni and Justin Heath and the PR agents have ever sent to everybody, plus location data. We knew that was going to happen. And we have obtained the audio of hotshot Ari Emanuel of WME, who describes himself as ride or die for the couple.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have been sitting pretty as Hollywood's golden couple for a minute. But now, that flawless image is showing some serious cracks. Explosive leaks and high-stakes legal drama got their whole reputation hanging by a thread. And smack in the middle of this whole mess, a straight-up chaotic fallout with It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni. And things just took a wild left turn.
On February 13th, Ari Emanuel was a guest on the Freakonomics Radio Live podcast, where he made headlines for calling Justin Baldoni Justin Baloney.
New tea just dropped, and it's making the situation look real shady. Reynolds and Lively out here scrambling to do damage control. But now, Hollywood's top power player, Ari Emanuel, CEO of WME and their agent, just got himself wrapped up in a scandal too. Emanuel went on the Freakonomics podcast and threw some heavy shade at Baldoni, even clowning him by calling him baloney. But when it came time for the episode to air, gone. The whole thing just disappeared. Audio and video wiped clean, like it never happened. At first, folks thought it was some random tech glitch, but then it got even sketchier. A journalist leaked an audio recording proving Emanuel actually admitted to firing Baldoni because Reynolds and Lively pushed for it. And let's be real, the fact that this is the only Freakonomics episode to ever go missing? Yeah, people are putting two and two together. Was this just some wild coincidence? Or did Hollywood's elite make sure it vanished? And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, another scandal. An old talk show clip resurfaced showing Reynolds cracking a straight-up inappropriate joke about sexual assault. And with him and Lively already neck-deep in legal drama, this could not have come at a worse time. The backlash? Relentless. People dragging him left and right, questioning his whole sense of humor, especially with all these serious allegations swirling. But instead of setting the record straight, Reynolds is out here playing silent. And that silence, yeah, it's only making things messier. Now, insiders are worried this could mess up the hype for his new movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. Puzz the public? They are already starting to switch up on him. But wait, it gets even crazier. A mysterious change.org petition just popped up demanding Reynolds be booted from SAG-AFTRA and the Producers Guild of America. And the kicker? The petition, which straight up accuses him of misconduct with no proof, was signed under the name Gavin Beck, a straight-up nod to the fictional murderer from Netflix's You. Now folks out here trying to figure out who's behind this, and is this just another calculated Hollywood takedown?
The person who sent this to me said, in the email, like, oh, Ryan Reynolds created a petition to get Justin Baldoni kicked out. I don't know if he's the one behind this, but I feel like this is the kind of sense of humor that's typical for Ryan Reynolds. I'm not going to point fingers, I'm just going to say that, who knows? So this petition really wants to kick Justin Baldoni out of Hollywood based on some allegations that has not been backed up by any receipts or any evidence yet. And the person here who wants to hide their own identity, which I think says a lot about this person. Like, why can't you stand up for something about something? If you want to ruin someone's life and career, you can't put your name on it. The person saying that, as a concerned member of the entertainment industry, it deeply saddens and angers me to witness no substantial action against abusers in our industry. The case of Justin Baldoni is a disappointing example who, despite being accused of SH, a co-star Blake Lively in the workplace, still holds membership in both the Directors Guild of America and Screen Actors Guild. Though dropped by WME, it's disheartening to see that the seriality of the allegations doesn't seem to affect his standing in our industry. Broke also that Blake Lively wanted to subpoena everyone on Justin Baldoni's team, basically 2.5 years back of phone records and emails and everything. That was denied by the judge, which is a good thing, as Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, kept saying in the media, like, Blake Lively is not the FBI and this is not a criminal case. So he denied that. So now they're going to try again probably and but they need to narrow it down. I don't see any reason why they should have 2.5 years worth of records from everyone, from dentist appointments to, doctors to shrinks, all these things that they, had nothing to do with this. And as they're saying themselves in the lawsuit, this alleged smear campaign didn't start until this summer. So why do they have to look like that?
Now the internet is straight up spiraling with all this speculation. Who really started this petition? Just some random troll? Or is this a whole setup to take Reynolds down? There ain't no solid proof linking him to it, but this whole scandal just put Hollywood's dirty little secrets on blast. These feuds don't just stay behind closed doors. They turn into full-on smear campaigns. And half the time, you can't even tell who's pulling the strings. Meanwhile, Lively's legal team just made a bold move to strengthen their case. They tried to dig up 2.5 years worth of Baldoni's phone records, emails, and personal data, hoping to find something useful. But the judge shut that down immediately. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, clapped back, saying Lively ain't the FBI and got no business demanding a massive data dump in a civil case. And the judge agreed, denied. Now, with tensions sky high and no clear winner in sight, this legal war ain't even close to being over. And just when you thought this Hollywood circus couldn't get any wilder, here comes another bombshell. A leaked email between top WME execs just dropped, setting off even more controversy and exposing the shady power moves happening behind the scenes. And if this new info checks out, it could flip the whole game.
For bad behavior, as Boy Meets World alum Matthew Lawrence stated on a recent episode of his podcast that the two had creative differences in a film that they worked on together back in 1998 called Boltneck. News Nation senior story editor Paula Froelich is here with the scoop. Paula, it seems like Ryan can't really catch a break right now with bad press between his wife Blake Lively's movie drama, now this. What else did Matthew share on this podcast?
Matthew was pretty explicit. He said, back in the day, and he made sure to say that Ryan was very young and that he has matured since then, but that Ryan did not take criticism very well. And every time he did, he'd just get freaked out and storm off. And now you have to understand, the producers of this movie were Oscar-nominated producers, so they knew what they were doing. However, Ryan in his youth thought that he knew better. And in a serious role, tried to make it comedic. At one point, even tried to channel his inner Jim Carrey, at which point the producers were like, listen, this is not this. Please don't do Jim Carrey. Please do the role.
These leaked emails, allegedly from some high-level folks in the agency, suggest that Reynolds and Lively were out here actively working to shut Baldoni out of Hollywood. One email straight up allegedly says, he's done. They want him out permanently. If this turns out to be legit, it confirms what folks have been suspecting, that this Hollywood power couple has been secretly moving chess pieces to push Baldoni out the game. But wait, there's more. Another leak just surfaced, and this time, a former WME assistant came forward with a jaw-dropping claim. According to this anonymous source, Reynolds personally made the call to have Baldoni dropped from a major deal months before this drama even went public. The assistant called it a targeted takedown and said there was zero professional reason for Baldoni to get the boot. Now, Baldoni's legal team is reportedly weighing their next move, and the public. They started to rally behind him. The hashtag # Justice for Baldoni is picking up major traction, and with the pressure mounting, Reynolds and Lively's camp is scrambling to keep this from spiraling further. Can they keep this locked down? Or is this just the start of an even bigger Hollywood scandal? And just when you thought things couldn't spiral further, here comes another plot twist with major legal consequences. A whistleblower from inside WME just dropped a bombshell, claiming that key evidence proving Reynolds and Lively's involvement in sabotaging Baldoni's career was intentionally destroyed. The anonymous source says internal emails and meeting notes about Baldoni's removal were wiped right after this controversy blew up. And not just a couple of emails, everything. They didn't just delete a few files. The source revealed they wiped it all. They wanted to erase the trail.
To the audio failures we had earlier, there was another, even bigger failure. The show had not been recorded, she says. And I didn't understand. I asked her to repeat herself. She said, they didn't record the show. And I still didn't quite understand. I mean, I've been recording stuff for many years now. I was a musician and I used to work in all kinds of studios. This show now for 15 years, we've recorded thousands of studio and live interviews, many other things. And not once have the people responsible for recording just failed to record it. But tonight, that's apparently what happened. I am pretty sure we did do a live show with Ari Emanuel and RJ Cutler and
just happened. The one show that could land a powerful WME executive in hot water just so happens to be the only show in your entire career that the recording equipment mysteriously malfunctioned. What a coincidence.
If this is real, it could be a major legal violation, especially if lawyers can prove evidence tampering. But here's where it gets even crazier. A private investigator, allegedly hired by someone close to Baldoni, has been digging into these suspicious deletions, and what they might have uncovered could be a game changer. Unverified reports suggest that backup files were saved on an offshore server, and if those receipts come to light, WME's whole involvement in this mess could be blown wide open. Meanwhile, Reynolds and Lively still ain't said a word about these latest accusations, which only got folks talking even more. With lawsuits piling up and Hollywood insiders pulling back, this once beloved power couple is staring down their biggest PR nightmare yet.
Sexual assault. Yeah.
I want you to listen to Ryan Reynolds explain to an audience on national television in detail how he sexually assaulted, harassed, whatever you want to call it, Olivia Wilde.
So in the scene, she's sitting there and I take her top off, I take her bra off, and she has these those pasties on. Right. But she's drawing these adorable little smiley faces. And I forget every line in the scene. Not just from this movie, from every other movie I've done. And I don't really know I'm sort of going, I'm nervous, I'm blithering on about nothing. And at some point in the scene, she takes my hands and puts them on her breasts. So they're there, palms are a little sweaty, don't know what's happening. And then at the end of the scene, I'm supposed to take, and I'm trying not to look at her like a 14-year-old boy who just won the lady lottery. At some point in the scene, I take my hands away, and I take my hands away, and I look down at my hands, and there's two freaking smiley faces. I have no idea what to do. So, the scene is over now. There's 65 crew members around. I mean, there's all these guys. There's like on the jackpot.
What I'm hearing is not only do you peel this lady's pasties off, you cop the look, and then what do you call it? Right, allowed 65 casting.
Could this scandal be the one that finally ends them? Or will they work their Hollywood magic to sweep this all under the rug before the public catches on? One thing's for sure, this drama is nowhere near over. Just when it seemed like this Hollywood firestorm couldn't burn any hotter, another leak just dropped, and this one might be the final nail in the coffin for Reynolds and Lively. A batch of private texts between top WME execs just surfaced, and what's in them? Straight up damning. These texts, now blowing up on social media, allegedly confirmed that Reynolds and Lively were actively pulling strings to shut Baldoni out. One exec reportedly wrote, "Ryan and Blake don't want him anywhere near these deals. Make it happen."
She continues to say that after 10 minutes they were ready and we went back in and did the scene a few times. When I went back to the green room, I said to some of the other actors, "I don't like Blake." Someone said yes, a few others have said the same. One girl said she was fine with her, and others just looked down at the floor. We had fun with Daniel Mays at the last day. Although it was a violent scene, he kept it very light and made us all laugh and didn't have any lines with Blake. And here comes another story, which is absurd to me. She says that the set was secured, meaning that no one from the outside were allowed onto the set. It was closed off, it was security there, so it was only the actors and people involved in the film. She said here that Blake Lively had a bodyguard with her at all times, and when she was in her fitting room or in her wardrobe, she had a security guard standing outside, and he would also walk with her around the sets. She says here that, "I understand if you want to have a bodyguard outside because of paparazzis or fans or whatever." Even when she walked from the set to her own dressing room, she says, still in the same building, he would come down, this security guard, and walk.
Our golden couple wasn't just sitting back. They were allegedly out here orchestrating the whole thing. But this next part, even darker. Another leaked message suggests that the smear campaign against Baldoni was no accident. It was planned. One cold-blooded text reads, "We need to control the story before he does." Now, fans are side-eyeing the recent accusations against Baldoni, wondering if this was all a calculated hit job to ruin his reputation before he could expose the truth. So, will Reynolds and Lively finally break their silence? Or are they cooking up one last desperate move to save themselves? One thing's clear, this scandal is spiraling out of control, and when the truth finally comes out, somebody's career might not make it. Stay locked in, because in Hollywood, the truth always finds a way out. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We got all the tea coming your way.